It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. That's great, it starts with an earthquake, birds, snakes, and aeroplanes. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane, listen to yourself, turn worlds at its own needs. Dummy, save your own needs, speed it up and not speed, got no street. The ladder starts to clatter with the fear fight down. High fire in a fire, represent the southern gangs and the government for hire in a combat site. Lester wasn't coming in a hurry with the furies breathing down your neck. Team reporters grapple Trump, get the ground, look at that low plane. Fine then, overflow, population corner, blue, but it'll lose. Series 7 worlds in your own need, listen to your heartbeat. Tell me that the reds are in the reverend with the right. You patriotic, slam fight right. I'm feeling pretty psyched. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Oh, 6 o'clock TV hour, no got foreign tower, session Marie, turn, listen to yourself, journal, like a mini uniform, my book is burning, but every motive escalating, not a motive, incinerate, not a motive, not a kettle, step down, watch your heel, crush, up, all this means no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear, turn them in, applies, new opposition, solution, the knob from the alternative, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. The other night I took the fine, got her nail, took the fine, Mount Saying in a light lantern, Bernstein lantern, Fresnel, Lenny, Bruce, and Mr. Becky, birthday party, cheesecake, the jelly bean boom. Patriotic, slam, put next set right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Yes, evening doomers, it is the end of the world as we know it, and I'm feeling pretty fine. This is 93.7 Edge FM, music for the end of the world, and it is myself, Chris, once again hosting, and I'm joined tonight by a good friend, Steve.
Good evening. Hello.
Evening, Steve. Thanks for coming along. And Steve has brought in some music tonight. What do we got? We got, well, Super Furry Animals, of course. Got to have a Welsh group in there, Steve.
Oh, defo.
Yes. Van the Man, Ram Jam, Thea Gilmore, who I hadn't heard before.
No relation to David.
Fair enough. And Billy Bragg. We got any others? That's about it. And of course, me first and the gimmies. And so tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about collapse and sort of like it's this article that I came across by Adrian Lambert, which is a framework for understanding and navigating the decline of industrial civilization. And he has some great ways to present and inform people about what is going on and why it's going on. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that tonight. And we'll probably mention, first up, I just wanted to say, Steve, I know this isn't a political show, but I just have to make one comment about the genocide that's happening over in the Middle East. And this is from, I forget what paper. The Supreme Court Justice declares genocide in Gaza, the Palestine Action Group to fight protest court action. So they're going to appear, this Palestine Action Group are going to appear in court, the Supreme Court on Tuesday the 7th, which was yesterday. Was it yesterday?
Oh, I don't know.
It's the 8th today. To see whether or not they will be able to march across a bridge or something. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, the authorities want to stop them. But we have a justice, who's it? Justice Fagan, who said that the Gazans are being subjected to the world's most serious crime, genocide. And so he has set aside a time for the group to go and present their case to the Supreme Court. So that's sort of state the obvious, really, Steve, isn't it? I mean, everyone says it's genocide apart from all the Israelis and the Americans and all these weird coalition people over here in Australia.
Yeah, and it's difficult as well because you can, Australia could be seen as being implicit in that genocide because of, although they don't actually supply any lethal arms to Israel, they do actually supply components for those lethal.
Of course they do. Yeah. And the group says, we welcome Justin Fagan's willingness to call out genocide, reflecting the undeniable reality on the ground, of course. Every major human rights organisation in the world, including the Israeli organisation, Salem, has accused Israel of committing genocide. And I think the UN, the International Criminal Court, has found that it's genocide.
The ICJ and the ICC. Yeah.
And now, of course, because they keep going on about, 50,000 Palestinians have died since in 2 years. But actually, it's a lot more. And they credibly estimated that more than 680,000 Palestinians have been killed. Because all those deaths that they say, 50 or 60,000, that doesn't include people being buried underneath all that rubble. It doesn't include people starving to death. It doesn't include people, getting run over or getting squashed by airdrops or anything like that. So it's going to be a lot more. So they say about 680,000 since October 23. Then, of course, you've got starvation, mass displacement, and, of course, the deliberate destruction of all forms of life. I mean, the Israelis have killed all the olive groves.
Yeah, which is why it's been declared an act of genocide. Like you've just mentioned, like 4 of the 5
I know.
identifiers there.
I know. It's pretty insane. Anyway, we'll see what happens in the courts in Australia. See if anything comes of that. Don't hold your breath, though. Okay. So, Steve, how are you coping with the end of the world as we know it, my friend? Since I last saw you in April.
Back in April, it's like it dwells on you.
You've been overseas for a part of that time.
I have been overseas, yes.
Did you notice a different vibe overseas?
I think, obviously, the situation in Europe is overshadowing a lot of people's thoughts there. Mm-hmm. So that was a bit of a dark cloud. It's focusing people's minds on potential unrest there. Yeah,
because when we say you've been overseas, you've been over in the UK mainly.
That's correct. Yes,
and I believe I was talking about bushfires in Scotland while you were away.
Oh, sorry. Yes, we had an unbelievably warm,
beautiful summer. You told me when you got back.
Beautiful summer. Actually, 4 or 5 heat waves were declared in Wales, which is most uncomfortable because
when you think of Wales, I immediately think of heat waves.
Yeah, it's we're not designed for heat waves, not at all. No.
Yes.
But yeah, I think people are certainly
people sort of realising that.
Well, all the houses, all houses are construction regulations are all to do with insulating houses and keeping them warm.
Yeah.
So when we've got increase in temperature, you've got really uncomfortable dwellings. Like all modern dwellings, have high energy ratings, but they need to be cooled artificially. Like there's no natural cooling in those buildings. Right. So it presents a problem for future planning. Yeah.
Yes. And how was your family going overseas? Everyone okay?
They are doing much better.
Ah.
Thank you for asking. And say hi, Shemai, Shemai Pab, Shemai Tylee.
Your dad might be listening. I know he's a keen listener.
He is a keen
I've played
listener,
a few Welsh tunes for him.
and he was most appreciative. Yes, he's your number one international fan.
Ah, lovely. All right. So that's what's happening tonight, Doomers. I'm going to be talking a little bit about this article with Steve by Adrian Lambert, who I hadn't heard of before, but I really like his article. It's very, very sensible and written quite easily to understand. There's no lot of scientific jumble mumbo type stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about. But first of all, we may have a song. But before we do, let us quickly play some lovely messages from our sponsors.
Need a broken window fixed? Glass doors or shower screen? For all types of glass replacement or mirrors cut to size, call Bega Valley Glass on 0417 545 498. For prompt service, whether domestic or commercial, Bega Valley Glass are the experts. Remember, call Corgi on 0417 545 498 for all your glass requirements. Bega Valley Glass, sponsor 93.7 Edge FM.
Better Home Living Bega is the only place to shop for all your electrical appliances. With a huge showroom boasting a great range of white goods, televisions, small appliances, and a fantastic cooking showroom with all the big brands. Plus, they're also an Apple reseller and Weber barbecue specialist and a J-Car stockist. Call in and see the experienced staff or shop online at better.com.au. Better Home Living Bega, 95 Auckland Street, Bega, proud sponsors of Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors, without whom we would not be able to function. All right. So, Steve, what song are we going to listen to first?
What's on the list?
Well, we've got a few. I reckon we should start off with Welsh. Now, I can't read this because obviously these are Welsh words. Where you don't have constant vowels or something, or they're swapped, or I don't know what it is, but it's very strange. But it's Super Furry Animals. I can read that.
Yes.
And
that's
what is the
easy.
song?
I believe the song is called Ysbeidiau Heilog.
Yes, that's why I can't
which
read it.
is translates as like rays of sunshine.
Oh, Rays of Sunshine. Nice.
Little rays, little bits of
And how
lights of happiness.
long have the Super Furry Animals been around?
They have been around, I think it's 25, 30 years they've been around. They've recently reformed and will be touring in the UK.
Have you happened to see them live? Yourself being a Welshman?
Oh, I certainly have.
Uh-huh.
Yes, most memorable concert that was. It was they were on the stage just before James Brown.
Oh, wow.
And so they had this incredible light show, and they had at the time their stage show was this large Sherman tank.
Oh, right.
And so they were all around on the stage on this large Sherman tank.
Oh, okay.
And in the background, this loop's going, James Brown, James Brown.
Ah.
And Super Furries were, delayed his performance, which didn't go down well.
James wouldn't be happy with that.
No.
Mr. Brown is not happy. Yeah. All right, excellent. So here is Super Furry Animals with...
Ysbeidiau Heilog.
Thank you. Ah, nice. Super furry animals. Lovely. Okay, Doomsters. Now, the article that we're talking about is the Grand Unified Theory of Doom, which is a framework for understanding and navigating the decline of industrial civilization. And Adrian Lambert, he writes that it's not a call to despair or anything like that. It's just exploring how we might navigate our descent into collapse, Steve, with integrity, purpose, and care for the living world while we still have it. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, that's
A little bit like Just Collapse, really, like our friends down in Tasmania. Figuring out how do you deal with what's happening. And Adrian says the starting point for understanding collapse is to recognise that human civilization is not exempt from the laws of physics and ecology. And at its core, industrial civilization is a dissipative structure subject to thermodynamics. Now, Steve, do you know what a dissipative structure is?
Well, you put me on the spot.
I know it's a while since you did thermodynamics.
So dissipate, things spread out.
Yes.
And share.
That's right. Exactly. So what it is that complex ordered systems survive by consuming concentrated energy and materials and then releasing them, dissipating them in degraded form. And it's true for rainforests or coral reefs or anything as it is for our global industrial economy. The difference, though, is that everything is constrained by nature and the sunlight, while our global industrial military complex system has been able to go far beyond its local ecological limits by tapping into fossil fuels, which is like concentrated energy.
Yeah.
Yes, portable, and it's just stores of ancient sunlight, really. That's what it boils down to. But it is finite resource. So Adrian is talking about trying to understand collapse through 6 interconnected areas. The biophysical limits of energy and complexity, the structural condition of ecological overshoot, energy and complexity in practice, the growth imperative of our political, social society that we have now, and the cultural and epistemic crises that's shaping our responses. And he says that industrial civilization is a thermodynamically constrained, overshoot-driven system. Its collapse is not a question of prevention, but of navigating a descent already well underway. As I've said many times on this show, Steve, we are already in collapse. And it's going to be different for different people in different places.
Yep.
So, domain number 1, he says, is energy, complexity, and thermodynamics. So, thermodynamics provides the physical foundation for understanding collapse. So, the first law states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. We all know that, right, Steve? I remember that from my physics classes.
That's what they say.
Only transformed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The second law states that in every transformation, some energy becomes unavailable for useful work, increasing its disorder or the entropy of the system. Okay, so you have a certain amount of energy coming into a system, but not all that energy is going to actually be used for useful things.
Like
Part of it contributes to the entropy of the system. Okay. So, consider a car with an internal combustion engine. It burns petrol, right, a store of ancient sunlight, okay, to go forward, but only a fraction of that chemical energy in the fuel is converted into motion. The rest is lost as heat, your engine gets hot, or sound, they're loud, or vibrations, or exhaust gases such as carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxide, all those sorts of things, carbon monoxide. So those losses are not the result of poor engineering, but they are fundamental physical laws. You cannot transform energy from one and have 100% success rate. That's just a thermodynamic law of physics, okay? You can't argue against it, You can't have these guys, these climate deniers argue against it. It's just physics, man,
I'll have to take that one as given. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And civilizations operate in exactly the same way, Steve. They take in concentrated energy and materials, they convert them into work to maintain and expand their structures, and they inevitably produce degraded outputs like heat, pollution, e.g. CO2, and waste. And over time, the available surplus energy declines. The entropy rises, the disorder of the system rises, and the system's ability to maintain its complexity diminishes. That's called collapse. So he goes on to say that Vaclav Smil, who's some other guy, I forget what nationality, has shown that the growth of societies from small agrarian communities to modern industrial nations is coupled quite correctly to increases in per capita energy use. So our per capita energy use has grown, particularly in the last 200 years, massively.
Oh, yes.
Right. That's why all this green energy, people keep going on about renewables and green energy, but that just means there's more energy in the picture. It's not like they're replacing energy with another form or anything like that. It's just...
Yeah, I'm not sure what the case in Australia was, but it used to be televisions would go off during the day. They wouldn't broadcast. So
that's right.
You'd be saving energy in that way.
Yeah.
It could have also been some union strikes as well, but I seem to remember regular power cuts growing up as well. So, electricity was not available all the time, every day. And I think that's something we should possibly have to return to, realise that we can't constantly...
Well, we're going to, whether it is voluntary or forced upon us, but it will happen.
Well, yeah, no one's going to volunteer to turn off their Wi-Fi between the hours of 10 and 4 o'clock, are they?
Well,
but
it's not too, no. Chances are, not really. No, that's right. So this temporary expansion of per capita increase is called phantom carrying capacity, he says, because the illusion that the Earth can support many more people than it actually can, because we are drawing down stocks of oil and gas and coal and topsoil and forests and fresh water faster than they can regenerate. And in environmental terms, we spend the interest first and then the capital, and ultimately erode the very capacity to generate any interest at all. So carrying capacity refers to the maximum population size of a species, right? That a particular environment can sustain indefinitely without degrading the resource base that it depends on. Industrial civilization has inflated human carrying capacity far beyond its long-term baseline. So collapse can be understood as the unavoidable return from this overshoot back to, and then below, the baseline. So the biophysical foundation is clear, Adrian says. When surplus energy declines, as it will, because, the carbon fossil fuels are a finite resource, complexity contracts, and civilization is no exception.
So I heard recently,
Yes.
it was on, might have been the Infinite Monkey Cage.
Okay.
So Brian Cox.
Oh, yes.
They've recently started mining landfill in order to recover resources to for use in like making concrete.
Oh,
so
okay. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so it for us to be doing that, it's a bit of a warning sign, really.
It is a very big warning sign.
We're not.
If it's should we say what you call economically viable to actually go and dig up old landfills rather than mine brand new mines for those resources, then yeah, that's a wake up call. So that was the first domain. Second domain is ecological overshoot, and that's what we talk a lot about on this show. And of course, you know what ecological overshoot is, Steve. Do you? I think you do. I've spoken to you about it many times.
Well, I'm open to being reminded, though, to ensure my understanding is correct.
Well, it is the defining term, condition of our time, really. It's the meta predicament or the polycrisis or the great simplification, Nate says. But there's a whole bunch of things. Basically, it's ecological overshoot. And it takes over, subsumes all other crises within its paradigm, right? CO2 emissions, ocean acidification, deforestation, species loss, forever chemicals, microplastics,
So they are-
ecological overshoot is the overarching thing above all those. And it occurs when globally, in human terms, we are running the Earth's life support systems faster than they can replenish themselves. So even things like trees, which grow back, so, you can cut down a tree, use it, and another one will grow, but we're doing it faster than they actually grow back to what we're taking. Same with fresh water, same with everything. Because how many people are there on the planet now, Steve? What's your best guess?
Oh, is it 8 billion?
Yeah, 8 point something. Oh. Well done, well done. Here's a question. Now, I'm a little bit older than you, Steve, but I was born in 1966. Do you know the population of the planet when you were born? It would have been a little bit later than 1966.
When did it hit 1 billion? It hit a
Oh,
billion.
a billion, or it hit back in about 1810 or something,
1810.
roughly.
It's a bit about 4 billion then.
Close. I think when I was, what are you, 1970? I was 66. What are you, 72 or 74? Or
71.
71. So I was 66, and that was about 3.4 billion, I think. So since then, in my lifetime, the population has more than doubled.
Yeah.
That's the lovely thing about the exponential function. That's why people just don't. That's why people aren't scared and worried enough. Yeah. Have you seen those things where if you're not worried, if you're not shit scared of what's coming, you don't understand what's going on? Have you seen any of those things?
Well,
On your Facebook feeds or something like that?
ignorance is bliss sometimes.
Well, yeah. But it's the exponential function which gets you, because that's the thing. Things happen quicker, like doubling happens quicker.
Yeah, to understand exponential growth to comprehend it is difficult.
Yeah.
To see how to make it tangible.
Yes.
It's hard to imagine. Like that experiment with bits of rice on a chessboard.
Yeah, on a chessboard. On the first square, you put 1 grain.
Yeah.
Then you just double it each time. 2 on the second,
Yeah.
4 on the third, 8
By
on
the
the
end,
fourth.
you'll be drowning in rice.
Well, the whole world will be covered by rice.
Yes.
No one could. Yeah, I know.
Goes to the moon and back.
Exactly, that's right. So, ecological overshoot. So now, globally, humanity now consumes resources equivalent to 1.7 Earths each year. Okay? And of course, we don't live on 1.7 Earths, we only live on 1. And we've altered more than 75% of the planet's ice-free land surface. Right? Wild mammals have been reduced.
Oh, we've also created less ice-covered land.
Oh,
So
that's right. That's right. We're creating more of non-ice covered land. That's true. And wild mammals have been reduced to just 4% of total mammalian biomass on the planet. 4% are wild mammals. The other, and that's being a little bit optimistic, I think. I think it's probably more like 3 or 2. But the other 96% is humans make up about 31% or something, mammalian mass, and all the rest, cows and sheep and goats and pigs and chickens and domestic mammals. Yeah. So it's pretty stark when you look at those figures. And each of these figures represents a breach of the planet's biophysical boundaries. And have you heard of the planet's boundaries, the planetary boundaries, Steve? I think there's 9 of them or something. Ooh. Fresh water being one. There's a whole bunch of different. Anyway, we have transgressed, I think, 7 now. It's pretty bad. So basically, we're just shrinking the ecological space in which life can thrive. That's what's happening. Our land and water is just not enough now to keep everyone going. So the trajectory of overshoot follows the logic of exponential functions, yes. All right. Now, also, Jason Hickel reminds us that overshoot is not simply a matter of too many people consuming too much. Because, of course, some people consume more than others.
yes.
It's a structural feature of an economic system designed for perpetual growth, rooted in centuries of colonial extraction from the global south to the global north. Overshoot is therefore both an ecological but also a political problem and reality. So it's much about the unequal distribution of consumption as the aggregate scale of it. And as a result, collapse will not arrive everywhere at the same time, but will unfold along different timescales across the world. I'm sure if you're living in Gaza, the end of the world has already come. You know? So it depends where you are. And overshoot makes collapse not a hypothetical risk, but an active process of rebalancing already underway. As ecosystems degrade and resource flows contract, human systems will be pulled, willingly or otherwise, back towards the planet's long-term carrier capacity, which is not much. So this notion that we can continue expanding the economy, as every single politician I've ever heard of anywhere in the world spouts, while reducing total environmental impact, is complete bullshit.
Yeah, you need to refocus that. But
Yes.
that needs to, it needs to be altered.
Yeah. Yes. So that was Domain 2. But let's go back to some more music, Steve, because, oh my God, we're already halfway through the show. I do talk a lot, I know. Okay, what are we going to have now? Who do you feel like?
Is it a bit of Van Morrison
Yes, we can
and
have a little
Lonnie
bit of
Donegan?
And Lonnie Donegan.
Yeah, so this one, if Dad's listening out there, so this one's for you. He enjoys his skiffle music.
He likes the skiffle music.
He was even in a skiffle
Oh,
band.
what?
Back in.
Oh,
back
my
in the
gosh.
day.
What did he play? Or was he the singer?
No, he had the
Washboard?
Yeah,
Ah.
not the washboard, but the metal basin with the broomstick.
Yep.
And the string attached.
Oh, nice.
So true child of early 50s skiffle music.
Oh, lovely. So, Van Morrison and Lonnie Donegan doing the skiffle version of Good Morning Blues.
Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? Well, I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? I woke up this morning, couldn't get out of my bed. I woke up this morning, couldn't even get out of my bed. Went to eat my breakfast and the blues was all in my bread. Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do? I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you?
Well, blues ain't nothing but a poor working man feeling fine. Lord, blues ain't nothing but a poor working man feeling fine. That's about the measest feeling I done ever had. That's why I'm singing good morning blues.
Blues, how do you do?
Yeah, yeah,
Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm doing all right. Good morning, how are you? Simple as yesterday, here you come walking today. I said for you yesterday, here you come walking today. Got your mouth wide open, you don't know what to say. Good morning, blues, blues, how do you do?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, good morning, blues, blues, how do
Yo, Van the Man. I got to say, he is one of my favourite all time.
Oh, he's class. He's
Super
class.
Super class. Okay. Now, I haven't had this for a while, but I did have a Doomer humour section.
Yep.
Gallows humour sort of section that well, I haven't really done it much, but this came up on my Facebook feed. It's an article from Climate Ages. It's a Substack over there where it says, what happens when 100 million years meets a century of humans? And it goes on about sea turtles because they're hundreds of millions of years old, Steve, sea turtles. I didn't realise that. Did you know turtles were swimming around when dinosaurs were walking around?
I would have thought so, yeah.
They're pretty old. Anyway.
Not as single entities, but as a species.
As a species. And so there's this article talking about, what happens when 100 million years meets that century of humans, and obviously it's not good. And the question is, so what can we do, right? And so someone wrote, well, we can support organisations working on turtle conservation, reduce plastic waste, protect nesting beaches, and share their story so others understand what's at risk. Because once these survivors are gone, the oceans will never be the same. This person wrote, yeah, well, that's a nice laundry list of things that either cannot be accomplished or won't make any difference. Reduce plastic waste in a civilization that continues manufacturing plastic waste? Aha! Not going to happen anytime soon. Supporting turtle organisations? How well has that worked so far? Oh, yeah. We've saved a lot. Protect nesting beaches? Yeah, okay, sea level rise ought to make that one impossible. So it's like you have these feel-good stories which all they're designed to do is make you feel good. They've got nothing to do with reality, Steve.
No, but... but
the turtles are so cute.
Don't lose sight of the fact that even a small victory for a turtle population is a victory nonetheless.
Yeah, you're a little bit more forgiving than me. Okay, back to that was my Doomer humour, Doomsters. I know it wasn't too good. Anyway, I got a chuckle out of it reading it. You got to laugh, man. You got to laugh. Jesus. Okay, domain 3. Energy and complexity in practice. So Adrian Lambert goes on to say the industrial civilization is built on a simple but unforgiving equation. Energy and material throughput make complexity possible. Because it's an extremely complex global society that we have now, Steve. I don't think anyone understands it truly.
No.
It's way too complex. There's so many systems involved. Okay, so every act of production and consumption requires physical inputs, mainly fossil fuels, and produces degraded matter and waste. Okay, we're all sort of familiar with that. And so the political policy narrative suggests that we can decouple economic growth from the physical throughput. So we can grow GDP while still reducing total environmental impact, which of course is complete furphy. Okay. For example, you can't build an electric car, Steve, without steel, aluminium, copper, plastic, glass, lithium, cobalt, and of course the labour of all the workers, each of which requires mining, processing, transport, manufacturing, all powered by energy and embedded in the global supply chain. Right?
But it makes you feel better.
Exactly. That's right. That is what they do. It's to make people feel better. It's like one massive... What's that Zoltex? What's that antidepressant tablet? It's like one massive bloody Zoltex for the world, to make everyone feel better. Okay? So claims of successful decoupling is all about accounting tricks. For example, high-income countries, and the UK has been one of them, Australia as well, appear to reduce emissions or materials use while their GDP still grows. But that's because a lot of it is the offshoring of carbon credits or resource-intensive production to other countries. So the things that we consume, we actually aren't emitting things, building them here. They're being built somewhere else. But the thing is, nonetheless, we're still consuming them.
Yep.
So the UK, for example, reports a 40% fall in territorial CO2 emissions since 1990. Yet consumption-based emissions, which count the embedded carbon in imports, has not fallen at all. But they don't mention that. It's like Australia with our cutting our carbon emissions and yet selling coal. Because, oh no, but we're not burning it. So they're not our emissions. Everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
It's all about, it's just accounting. It's like, it's words. It's like lawyers, It's the same thing, same outcome, but they make it sound better. Okay. So the near total dependence of global energy supply on fossil fuels underscores the tight link between economic activity and carbon-intensive energy sources. Okay. There's just no way it can be done. You can't bring down GDP and have your GDP keep on going and somehow or other be less invasive on the planet in the biosphere.
It's a noble idea.
Oh, lovely idea.
But yeah, unfortunately, as you said, in reality,
the Easter rabbit, that's a great idea too. I'd love to have a little rabbit going around giving people eggs, but it just ain't happening, man. So that's how it is. All right, peeps. We've got, how many domains have we got? 4, 5. How many domains did I say? 6. So we've got 3 more domains to quickly get through. But before we do, it is time now for some more lovely words from our sponsors here at 93.7 Edge FM, who without them we would not be able to run. So we have IBS Bega and we have, some Edge patrons.
Bega Independent Batteries are a proudly Australian company and not only supply all types of batteries, but quality off-grid kits, solar pumps and more to the southeast coast of New South Wales and northern Victoria. They supply all types of batteries and associated products, everything from marine, aeroplane and automobile, through to trucks, RVs, caravans, golf carts and smaller consumable batteries. Their aim is to provide quality products at the best possible prices. Give them a ring on 0436 460 460 or check out the website at www.ibsbega.com.au. Bega Independent Batteries sponsor 93.7 Edge FM.
Edge FM, Bega's Community Radio, would like to thank the following patrons: Matthew Knott of Tarthra, Steve and Andrea Wall of Corma, Alf Neeser of Bermagui, Matt Prio of Bega, Frank Scott of Bega, Barry Thistlethwaite and family of Tura Beach, Michael Kavanagh of Bega, Ian Burns of Tanja, John Reynolds of Tura and Lyle Blair of Cobargo. Thank you for your ongoing support of community radio in the Bega Valley.
Thank you, dear sponsors. Okay, you're listening to Music for the End of the World, Doomsters, here in the lovely Bega Valley, and I'm joined by my special guest, Steve, who's brought in some music, and we are talking about the Grand Unified Theory of Doom, a framework for understanding and navigating the decline of industrial civilization, written by Adrian Lambert on August 15th this year. And he's outlined 6 domains that we have to start thinking about and doing something about. Of course, that's a moot point. So we're up to domain number 4, which is the growth imperative of political economy. So capitalism emerged, he says, and accelerated the thermodynamic pattern of civilization as a dissipative structure. And like any such structure, it's got to consume energy and materials to maintain itself, and it tends towards expansion as long as the resources are available, Steve. Okay. But the returns on that complexity are shrinking now, pushing the system towards instability because everything is getting harder to source.
Yep.
Energy, resources. I mean, aren't they talking about mining now in the Arctic? I mean, thank God all that ice is disappearing. We can get in there and mine. I think Antarctica's got probably...
Everything's connected.
Everything's connected, Steve. That is our catchphrase on the show. Everything is connected. That is correct. So, but this growth imperative is not an accident of capitalism, Steve. It is its organising principle. Investment demands returns, which require more production, which in turn requires more energy and more resources. So in a finite system, this locks civilization into an unavoidable conflict with ecological limits, obviously. I mean, that's what I don't understand. When people start going on about it, you go, well, just explain to me how you can have infinite growth on a finite planet. How does that work?
It doesn't.
Exactly. But to get them to admit it, Steve, is very, very hard.
No, but you sold that lie of, we want to make our lives better.
Yes.
Your advertising is
Yes.
partly to blame for this. That
Yes.
You always want something new. You want something better.
Absolutely.
Upgrade this.
Yes.
Have
we are brainwashed
clothes.
into it, Steve. Absolutely.
Yeah. So to then
That's why the big billionaire tech
ourselves-
bros, Steve, want to control the media. That's why the 5 richest people in the world all are media barons. Because you control the message, you control the people. And they just want people to go, I want a new TV, I want a new iPhone, I want this, I want that, I want to buy this. That's what they want.
it's almost a conspiracy theory.
Almost, isn't it? Yes, I know. The Western Roman Empire, after cutting down its forests, you may know this because I think you're a history student, Steve, debasing its currency and overextending itself militarily, saw its economic and political structures unravel. And it collapsed. And what came after the Roman Empire, Steve? DA, the Dark Ages, baby.
That came much later.
Oh, well, it came after it. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the Dark Ages coming after us. Well, who knows? No one's going to be here to witness it, but...
Well, it will be the true Dark Ages.
it will be the true Dark
Because,
Ages.
the Dark Ages in history is a bit of a misnomer.
Oh.
It's just a phrase that was coined by
Yes.
Victorian historians
Okay.
to label that period in history.
Okay.
So,
And this guy goes on to argue that industrial civilization is inherently expansionary. And I would agree to it too. It can't simply stabilise at a sustainable level. It just infinite growth does not enable that to happen.
yeah, well, can you imagine a situation where you can buy a shirt and that shirt will last you for the rest of your life?
Yes, that's right.
If-
We used to have machines, though. I remember my parents, their fridge, they had that my entire life as a child and even longer.
Yeah.
So a lot of things back then were built to last much longer than what they are now.
Yeah, but in order to facilitate an economy that can grow, you have to have those things like inbuilt. I've forgotten the term. Inbuilt obsolescence.
Yes, inbuilt obsolescence, that's it.
So
That's right.
you're having less sturdy materials, products.
Yeah.
Gives you the opportunity to make more. Keeps the populace happy. They're in employment. They're earning money. Blah 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 blah. But yeah. End result is using more resources, and
Yes.
unfortunately,
So collapse is the inevitable outcome then of a system whose survival depends on growth, beyond the planet's capacity to support it, of course. But, Steve, and here's a kicker, collapse is not only driven by physical constraints, resources, energy, etc. It's also shaped by the cultural and cognitive frameworks through which we interpret the world. And thus brings us to domain 5, which is cultural and epistemic crises. So it's not just a material process collapse. It's also an epistemic one. Epistemology, Steve, in case you didn't know, is the study of how we know what we know.
thank you. Thank you for not asking me what that meant.
So modernity has privileged a narrow reductionist framework. Knowledge is constructed, detached, quantifiable, and dominated by economic metrics. Okay, everything is justified economically. And this has produced immense technical power, great technology, but also a profound blindness to the relation and ecological dimensions of reality. Economists don't take into account pollution. They don't take into account degradations of the biosphere. They don't take that into account.
Well, I think they soon will.
Well, that's right.
You know, as you mentioned before, insurance companies are certainly paying more attention to this. So as a result, you know, economists are therefore going to have to broaden their sphere of understanding and incorporate these
That's
factors.
right, because without a shift in how we perceive and value the world, any technical or political solutions will remain trapped in the same paradigm that created overshoot. How we think shapes how we act. And without epistemic renewal, technical and political interventions will remain trapped in the logic of overshoot. Infinite growth. And the last one we're coming to here is Domain 6, which is renewal within limits. So if collapse is inevitable, Adrian argues, then the work that remains is not to prevent it, because we can't prevent it, Steve. It's happening. But to shape what follows in some minor way. That's the best that we can hope for. So first we've got to accept that the Earth's finite, that its capacity to support human life is constrained. Okay?
So when we go into the voting booths, think beyond.
If only.
Getting tax reduction, a lower tax rate for yourself.
Or all those immigrants taking your jobs. Causing house prices to rise, those damn immigrants.
Yeah, get beyond that and think about, okay, what things can, you know, I want my elected officials to do something that I want them to be.
That's right.
You know, because you can be faced with feelings of apathy of it because of their inaction.
Yep.
That they don't do what they're supposed to do.
No.
So be a bit more proactive with.
Unfortunately, looking towards our leaders is pretty depressing, I find, Steve. But if we're concerned about the health of our soils and waters and forests and seas and animals and all this sort of stuff, then we need to start thinking a little bit differently. And it demands a shift from the industrial growth economy. Yes, it does. It's about designing ways of living that work with nature's patterns, Adrian is saying, regenerates the commons and keeps us sustained within Earth's long-term carrying capacity. Now, he goes into a little bit of hopium down here because he's actually saying, you know, there are ways that... But the true doomsters amongst us know that there is no... We are hell-bent on one way, and that way is extinction, basically, you know. Not just us, but most of the life forms on the planet. But it's happened before, Steve. We have had a couple of great big extinctions.
Yes.
Where over 90% of all life disappeared.
Is it 4?
4? Yeah, maybe 4 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, this is potentially the 5th.
No, I think they're saying potentially we're the 6th one now. We're in the 6th great extinction event. But there's a little bit of controversy over how many, 6 or 5 or whatever. Anyway, there's been a few. That's all we need to know. And people just don't realise it. That's the thing.
Well, they were a long time ago.
Yes, they were.
So,
well, they were before we were alive.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
humans.
Four.
When was the latest one? Was Cretaceous period, wasn't it?
That was one after that one.
One after the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I forget. Anyway.
Not that I know.
Maybe,
I'm not an expert. Sorry.
Maybe 100 million years ago or something like that. It was a fair way. But yeah, most of life disappeared. As is going to happen again, Doomsters. And thus finishes the lesson on the Grand Unified Theory of Doom by Adrian Lambert, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And if you'd like to have a read, peeps, it is on Substack. Just look up a Grand Unified Theory of Doom and you'll come across it. Okay, Steve, I've been talking a lot, although you have been talking a bit too. We haven't got time to go through all the songs, but what are we going to have next? I know what my vote is. Oh! I'll play that at the end. What are you...
Oh, well, you've got to have a gimme song as well.
I will have a gimme song, but we'll go out on a gimme song. Okay. So I'll give you a chance to play a few more songs.
Well,
Billy Bragg, Thea Gilmore, not David's daughter.
Correct.
Or Ram Jam.
I believe my lovely wife chose a Billy Bragg song.
And this is a big shout out to B. We know you're listening, babe. And this is Billy Bragg and A New England.
I was 21 years when I wrote this song. I'm 22 now, but I won't be for long. People ask me when will you grow up to be a man, but all the girls I loved at school are already pushing prams. I loved you then as I love you still. Though I put you on a pedestal, they put you on the pill. I don't feel bad about letting you go, I just feel sad about letting you know. I don't want to change the world, I'm not looking for a New England, I'm just looking for another girl. I don't want to change the world, I'm not looking for a New England, I'm just looking for another girl. I love the words you wrote to me, but that was bloody yesterday. I can't survive on what you send every time you need a friend. I saw 2 shooting stars last night, I wished on them, but they were only satellites. It's wrong to wish on space hardware. I wish you'd care. I don't want to change the world, I'm not looking for a New England, I'm just looking for another girl. I don't want to change the world, I'm not looking for a New England, I'm just looking for another girl. Looking for another girl, looking for another girl, looking for another girl.
Billy. Love him. You've seen him live, have you, Steve?
I have. He
Yes.
is an amazing
He is.
storyteller.
He's very, very, very good.
Like, I think,
And he played for hours and hours, and he just kept coming back. People were cheering. He'd come back for another encore. And finally he said, I don't know what to play. I've played everything. I don't know. He did everything. It was a really good concert.
you leave his gigs thinking he's your best mate.
Ah.
He's just got that rapport.
Yeah. He's an entertainer, isn't he? Unlike Van the Man, I've seen many times, and I love him dearly, but don't expect him to talk to the audience. Like, I saw one gig, he spent half the time with his back to the audience, talking to the bloody musos playing music. But fantastic sound, excellent. He always has really good musicians. But very different to Billy.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, peeps. You have been listening to Music for the End of the World. And it is coming up to the end of the show. Steve, what have you got any tips on how to deal with life at this particular point in history? How are you? Do you have any things that your coping mechanisms for the
You just
collapse
got,
and?
I suppose, pay attention to the people around you.
Yes.
Think about your family.
Yes.
Be there for them.
Yes.
And yeah, just support your local community.
Thank you, Steve. That's exactly what we say here. You foster those community relationships, all the different groups, because they're the people that you're going to be relying on when collapse comes eventually to you. You need to think locally. And what's important in your life? Family and friends, really, isn't it? It's family and friends.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what makes life worth living. So, as my friends in Just Collapse down in Tasmania always say, collapse is inevitable, but justice is not, Steve. And we can still try and work for a more just socio-eco justice framework, so there's still things to do. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to go into it. I'm tired of people going on about, oh, yeah, you're so negative, oh, you're so pessimistic, just go in the corner and kill yourself. Like, they got no idea.
That's not what it's about.
That's not what it's about. No. Like this morning. Wasn't it a beautiful morning this morning?
It was absolutely gorgeous. We even spent some time down at Moon Bay today, and the colour of the water, the colour of the sky.
I know. Beautiful.
It was absolutely glorious. Celebrate those moments.
Yes, exactly right, people. So it's good night from me, and it's good night
from him.
Thank you.
Good night.
And we will go out with, of course, people, we always play the gimmies on this show. And this is, well, after talking about our lovely morning.
It's Thea Gilmore.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to have any music going then. That was Thea Gilmore. We're not going out with Thea Gilmore, we're going out with the Gimmies. And because it's such a beautiful morning, we're going out with Beautiful. And we will see you next week, Doomsters. Rock on and take care of each other.
Every day is so wonderful, then suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful no matter what they say. Words can bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring me down. Oh no, so don't you bring me down today. To all your friends, you're delirious, so consumed in all your doom, trying hard to fill the emptiness. The piece is gone, let the puzzle undone. Is that the way it is? You are beautiful no matter what they say. Words can bring you down. Oh no, you are beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can bring you down. No, 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 so don't you bring me down today.